It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly podcast dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local businesses and the community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the Eastside Real Estate team at Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue, here are your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan. It is Wednesday, May 6, 2020, and it reminds me of a meme I saw yesterday, Back to the Future. The professor is telling Marty, whatever you do not set it to 2020. We're glad you joined us today. If you are looking to listen to past episodes, you can listen to our podcasts on Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. Additionally, we have videos of each broadcast available at our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com or on YouTube channel. Simply search YouTube for the Eastside Real Estate Team. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. We've got another great show today for you today. I'm excited to talk about real estate today, and we have some great guests. Today, we're welcoming back Debbie Rosemont of Simply Placed.
Thanks for coming, Debbie. Now, before we get to our guest today, we're going to start with a little bit of real talk. So, Brian, what's our topic today?
Yeah, I'm talking about the market that we've got some people that are putting things on hold and some moving ahead. So we're just going to talk about some of the benefits of both.
Benefits of both. So what is the general consensus that you are hearing out there from the sellers that are kind of on hold right now?
You know, some sellers are holding for a better market, but I don't see, it's a terrific market. The market hasn't backed down. Prices haven't gone down. I think that's the big concern that sellers might have. Part of what's fueling this market is interest rates are so very good that there's a lot of savings for buyers to be had.
So you're saying that the sellers right now don't have a reason, but we've listed a couple of homes in the last couple of weeks. We've gotten one in Sammamish in contract.
There you go.
Are you able to hear me? Okay.
The music's a little too loud, buddy.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yep, we're working out some kinks on this new podcast here. There we go, right there. And so what I'm hearing you say is some sellers may give a little bit of a reason to pause, and I will tell you what it comes down to is showings, right? So right. Previous. And I think it also comes to price point, right? So that upper tier of the market, that 1.5 plus in Bellevue, what we have seen is quite a bit of slowdown and increase in inventory. With the kind of mid-range, the stuff below the median price points. So we're talking to one of our colleagues, and they're seeing multiple offers in that case.
Right. Right.
So the buyers, though, I don't see any reason to not move forward, but we certainly have seen a level of uncertainty when it comes to employment. Brian, what are you hearing from your buyers on that?
You know, the buyers that are employed, they're blazing ahead. For the most part, the buyers aren't the ones that are hesitating. I think another thing with sellers is just the stay at home, just concerned about exposure to the virus, and yet. Just so everybody knows, we are taking very, very careful protocols in our showings, in our activities to protect our clients. The Department of Licensing has put restrictions in place that I think make sense. I mean, we're out there dealing with the public, and we want to stay well. So it's masks, it's gloves, it's sanitizer, and it's social distancing. We can show a home one person at a time. So if I'm showing a buyer, I'll show one and I'll show the next, and I'm telling them, if you need any doors opened, let me do that, because we're asking just basically don't touch anything. So we're protecting them and protecting our sellers at the same time. But I think that some sellers, one of the reservations is limiting exposure to the virus.
All right. So one of the things that Keller Williams has done to innovate, Brian, is on our websites now, buyers can actually book video tours. So they're able to actually, and I'm going to go ahead and show my screen because we are now a little more interactive here. Let me show you my website here. So take a look at some of these homes here. And Brian, you tell me, can you see this on your screen?
There we go. I see the
Yeah.
house now. Looks
Okay,
good.
so this house here, we're able to actually schedule video tours, and we can do those any time of day. So you can pick 3 days, pick different times. And this was all just created in the last 3 weeks. And it was
Right.
created with that purpose of helping folks kind of navigate the whole process of buying a home in this environment. So some pretty cool tools that agents are using, right?
One of the things some brokers are going to just sharing a video tour, but when we do it live, with the buyer, they're able to have the benefit of our experience and trained eye to point out things that untrained eye might miss.
An
Just
untrained I might miss. I
yeah,
like that. Well, let's see. So let's close it out. So for buyers and sellers that are considering moving forward, buyers most importantly, keep in mind interest rates because they're right now they're in the low threes, and we're going to be talking after a very short commercial break with our loan officer over there at Aram Mastoev. He'll be coming on here to talk about that. But they're going to be good, and the savings compared to last year are pretty phenomenal if you think about
right.
stuff. And with the fact that maybe some people aren't moving forward, you don't have to compete as hard. So,
Yeah,
any other
just to
final
share.
thoughts?
Yeah, we pulled up a chart. It's data from Freddie Mac weekly interest rates. 2019 average 30-year mortgage was 3.94%. Today, 3.33%. That would mean for a typical buyer, $200,000 loan. So this is just for illustration, but over 30 years, that's a saving of almost $25,000. So it's pretty significant to be able to take advantage of today's interest rates.
Yeah.
The other side of that is it increases the buying power. If you want to buy more, you're in a position to do that. But no, what they say, Dan, there's never been a better time to buy.
Never been a better time to buy. Well, listen, that concludes our Real Talk segment for today. If you're interested in this and other topics that we covered, please check our website. You can go to the eastsiderealestateteam.com/blog. And if you'd like to talk to us directly about buying or selling and your questions you may have, you can reach us at 425-200-4093. We appreciate you listening. Coming up after the break, we're going to be speaking with we were having our mortgage moment segment. We're going to be speaking with Aram Maravosif. I'm working on it, an experienced loan officer from Movement Mortgage. Please join us right after this short commercial break that I'm about to launch right now. So here goes.
Are you feeling stressed out and eating too many treats while in quarantine? Stephanie Johnson with AdvoCare can help coach you so that you're feeling your best, even in these times. For over 8 years, Stephanie has helped so many start a healthy lifestyle by teaching free nutritional workshops and recommending what AdvoCare supplements to take so that her clients can reach their health goals. Whether it's more energy or weight loss, let's come out of quarantine feeling good with summer-ready bodies. To get more information, you can call or text 425-269-0007 or go to advoteamjohnson.com. Again, that's advoteamjohnson.com or call or text 425-269-0007.
We're back.
We're getting better at that. So thanks for coming back, everybody. We are right now we're going to go ahead and okay, so you're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan.
Brian.
And I'm Dan, and it's now time for our mortgage moment segment. During this segment, we like to kind of go over some things with our local lender. We're going to talk about forbearances. Joining us today is our local expert, Aram. I have to say it again, Maravosif. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, did I say it right?
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the show, Aram.
Thank you.
Aram, tell our listeners, we're hearing the word forbearance thrown around a lot right now. Give us an explanation.
So basically, as you know, the CARE Act that was passed by Congress allowed borrowers, mortgage holders, to basically postpone the payments, defer them by up to 3 payments, and then they can catch up. There was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things that were not clear that were coming in, and eventually, sometimes people thought they have to make the payment in full for 3 mortgages in lump sum. Then it was clarified they don't have to. But here's what we're hearing now. because of the forbearance the CARE Act passed, it was basically designed to help people who lost their jobs and couldn't do it. It didn't specify. It basically said you don't need a proof of hardship when you apply for it. And so a lot of people applied even if they didn't need to. But here's what we know now. As it turns out, forbearance, while it's not presumably affecting your credit score, what it does affect is actually your ability to qualify for mortgage, for purchase or refinance. If you applied for forbearance, and even if in order for you to qualify for mortgage, you will now have to catch up and then wait for 12 months
Oh, wow.
to show good standings of on-time payments. You basically have to reestablish history of making on-time mortgage payments.
So I've heard that some lenders will require those missed payments to be repaid in one lump sum. Is that something you're hearing?
You know, something I heard something like that on refinances. You have to, if you want to be eligible for refinance, you have to pay in full amount to catch up. But that was before a recent update from FHFA, where now they say you have to catch up with the payment. You have to pay the money back that you owe,
Yeah.
and also reestablish mortgage history. Because if mortgage forbearance reports on your credit report, you're probably not going to qualify for purchase or refinance for a year.
Good to know.
So then is there a specified criteria?
No, basically it's for Fannie and Freddie only. So we don't know. That's the thing. We don't get exact instructions and guidelines from them or Genie or HUD. It basically goes with the flow because they're trying to figure out legal issues as well. There's a lot of hoops they have to jump through before they issue any kind of ruling. But based on what we know today, that's the case.
And I'm guessing this could probably change too in the future because we don't really know what other kind of stimulus packages they're doing, right?
It could, exactly. And one of the things that Calabria said during the conversation with Barry Habib is that there are truly people who definitely needed it and got hurt because they lost job, but now they're coming back. How do you deal with the situation? But because there are so many people who actually took advantage of this while they did not need to, creating financial constraints for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, that they have to deal with a lot of stuff before they make things final. But based on what we get now, this stands. The guideline basically stands. It's not permanent, but if changes will happen, I'll let you know. But for now, yeah, people, if they're applied for forbearance and planning to refinance their purchase, they're going to have to wait. And that's where real estate agents have to kind of step up to the plate and talk to their sellers. If the sellers are planning to sell house and buy something else, that's a conversation to have right now before you start looking homes.
So what about loan servicers? It seems to me that if these payments aren't coming in and loan servicers still have to, make their payment to that secondary market, that could have some pretty negative credit impacts. Correct.
It did. A lot of services, they have to face the music. You have to pay investors no matter what, even if borrowers do not make their payments, servicers have to. So far, it did put a lot of pressure on service, did change a lot of things in the financial market, but for now, I don't see anything terrible happening. It seems like a lot of things are in limbo right now. So certain things have kind of stabilized. So the crisis there's a little bit more certainty now in the market now that FHFA, Calabria comes up with more clear guidelines and gives more certainty. So right now, it seems like markets try to settle down.
I'd love to pivot a little bit, Aram, because I didn't during our earlier meeting, you talked about a project that is or a special loan program for first responders. Are you able to kind of explain to our listeners about that?
Yes, I was going to mention that Movement Mortgage launched a program for hospital workers, EMS workers, as well as full-time police officers and firefighters. If you purchase or refinance house with Movement Mortgage, you get $2,500, up to $2,500 towards closing costs.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
All right.
We're a very community-oriented company, and we're trying to impact communities everywhere. And so that's one way we want to. And that program is eligible until June, end of June.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to give back in any way we can.
Well, Aram, can you tell our listeners how to get a hold of you?
They can call me at 425-988-4123 or visit my website, movement.com/aram.mutiwasa.
Thanks, Aram.
Hey,
My
say that
pleasure.
again
Thank you
so
for
I can
having me.
say your last name for me again, because it
You can
comes
always
out
call
of
me
your
Aram, right?
throat way better.
Yeah, it's Mutiwasa.
Matevosov.
Yes.
We're gonna practice that. I promise you, I'll get it. Like
Don't worry.
it'll sound like I'm just natural. All right. Well, thank you for speaking with us today, Aram. We always appreciate your expertise.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Next up, after the short commercial break, we're going to be welcoming Debbie Rosemont of Simply Placed, who will be talking to us about how to work productively while at home. So stay tuned and welcome back. Let's see. I've got to be able to do this because it's kind of like I'm producing, talking,
Right.
and sharing all at the same time. So
Hit it.
hitting it right there.
You know, we're living in uncertain times right now, and it's nice to have something comforting and local. Aaron Andrews with Indie Chocolate has new ways for you to fall in love with chocolate. Please visit Indie Chocolate at Pike Place Market or order Indie Chocolate on their website, indiechocolate.com. That's INDI chocolate.com.
In these uncertain times, are you in need of some great quality comfort food from the South without having to make it? Honest Biscuits has got you covered with amazing biscuits, both savory and sweet, and Southern food like biscuits and gravy, fried chicken sandwiches, and cheesy grits. They even have delicious gluten-free options and vegan options. You can order on our app for pickup, order through several delivery partners like Uber Eats, or they ship their biscuits anywhere through their website at www.honestbiscuits.com.
Welcome back to the show. This is Real Talk with Brian and Dan.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. Our next guest is Debbie Rosemont of Simply Placed. Debbie is a certified professional organizer and productivity consultant. She started Simply Placed in 2003 to help her clients increase productivity, maximize efficiency, and bring balance and control to their work, home lives, and much more. Simply Placed associates work with individuals and businesses to create effective organizational systems, clear clutter, successfully manage time, focus on priorities, and achieve goals. They help people work smarter, not harder, to increase the bottom line and peace of mind through consulting, hands-on organizing, and group training. Debbie's an engaging speaker, an effective consultant and trainer, and has been interviewed numerous times, including on our show, but also in other TV, print, and radio media. She's the author of the book, 6-Word Lessons to Be More Productive, and the creator of several information products. Debbie is one of the small number of certified professional organizers in Washington and was founding member of the Seattle chapter of NAPO. She's an active member of NAPO, National Association of Professional Organizers, and the WBO, or Women Business Owners. She was the proud finalist for the 2015 WBO Nellie Cashman Business Owner of the Year. Debbie, who wears many hats in her own life, as well as wife, mother, volunteer, business owner, understands that life happens. And it can be challenging to get and stay organized. However, she's seen the benefits of an organized life and wants that for clients. Her goal is to ultimately save her clients time, money, and stress, and allow them to focus on things that matter most. Debbie, we welcome you back to the show.
Thank you. Thrilled to be back.
Well, I got to tell you, there's probably a lot of people that have this beautiful layout like I do, but if you look down on my desk, it's a hot mess. So,
Chaos.
looks great. Chaos. So what do you suggest? How should we kind of reset? We've got a month to go. How do we reset and make this the best month quarantine ever?
Yeah. And, for some people, it's going to be more than a month. They're going to work from home for longer, I suspect, whether full-time, part-time, whether anyone's new to this. And this has been a change from going to corporate office to home office, or you've been doing it for a while. I think there's some things that anyone can do to make sure that your office space at home or your workspace at home is working for you. So the first tip I would suggest is have a dedicated space. So, if you are working from home and you have a home office, well, that's ideal, especially if you can close a door on it and really focus in that space, and that's all that space is used for. A lot of people don't have that luxury, and they are maybe sharing a kitchen table space or dining room table, or trying to carve out a corner of a bedroom or another multi-use area. So claim a space wherever that's going to be, and then make sure that you have in that area the things that you're going to need most often when you're working. So project files or client files, certainly your electronics that you need, your phone within arm's reach, and then some very basic office supplies. And if your office needs to move from room to room, and that certainly has happened. We had 4 people at one time over the last 2 months working and living out of our household. And so sometimes we'd need to move to adjust. If someone needed to make a call and needed a private space, someone might have to step out of a private space and go to a shared space. So to be able to have, even if it's just a caddy of the office basics, or something that you can fit in your hand, or a little bag to take from place to place, that could be helpful as well. So claim a space. Try to clear clutter from that space. No, we can't see anyone's desk over Zoom, but you know what's there. And we're able to focus on priorities when we have less stuff around us. That's typical of most people, although everyone has a different level of tolerance for stuff around them. And so that's not going to be, there's not a formula that says, okay, Dan, you need to clear everything off except the one.
I like that. Everyone has a certain level of tolerance. Yes.
Yep.
And I have a high level of tolerance.
Yes. Yes. So, and that's something to think about too, if suddenly you are sharing a workspace with somebody else, is there may need to be, and this is not marriage counseling or couples counseling, but there may need to be some negotiation. And that could be true if a student is using a space to do online learning and somebody else needs it for work. So clearing clutter, and I always say to the lowest common denominator, the person that needs the clearest space. And usually that means in that workspace that you need to have some systems set up. So the reason that people have a lot of stuff around them primarily is that they worry about out of sight, out of mind. So if you look at your desk or wherever you're working now, you may have some things that you've left out as reminders to do something or to follow up on this or to finish this. And if you have a good task management system, then you can put those things away, trigger a task to be reminded to do that thing at the right time, and you don't need it all out in front of you at once. So claim a place, have it be as clear of clutter as you can, set up some systems so that you don't worry about the out of sight, out of mind, and then try to minimize distraction. That's probably 4 of the top tips I can give for just setting up an office space or a workspace at home.
Well, Debbie, I'd like you to, if you can, expand a little bit on avoiding distractions. I find working from home, my office space is organized adequately, and I think you hit the nail on the head of the things I keep up for my reminders, etc. But outside distractions, any tips on controlling outside distraction? There's none outside of my office space.
Yeah, I'd say that's twofold. We have external distractions, maybe other people, right? That are walking about or coming to ask us for things. Pets could be pets, yep. Could be kids, could be a spouse or a partner. So thinking about communicating and just expressing what you need. Share at the beginning of the day what your day looks like. So for example, knowing that we were going to, come together at 3 and that ideally this is a quiet space so you get a clean recording for your show, I communicated with others in my household that, 3 o'clock or the hour of 3 o'clock is really a good time to do something quiet, right? And of course, that's harder for those with little kids, or, pets that you can't say, don't bark at 3:15, right? But are there some things that you can do to maybe, if it is, if you have a dog, can you put a dog in a different room of the house for a period of time? And I'm not saying ignore the pet all day long or, just pop your kids in front of a screen and let them do their thing all day long. Of course not. But can you set yourself up for periods of focus during the day? And then we have internal distractions as well. So like it or not, we will distract ourselves, or we have these distractions that are within our control. It's the notification on our phones. We can turn that off. It's the email flash. When we get a new email, the icon that pops up, we can turn that off. So there are some things that you can do to, be in control of the distraction. And, thinking about at home, the things that might distract us often are home tasks, like, oh, I should go switch the laundry, or I should go start, do some dinner prep now in the middle of the day so that, everything's ready. And those are okay things to do. It's one of the benefits of working from home is that we can do and mix in some personal tasks as well. But we need to be careful not to let that distraction or that diversion totally derail our workday. So I like to think about and suggest some compartmentalization, that if you decide that your work hours are primarily from here to here, that's what you're going to do during that time. And while you can take breaks and use those, oh, I'll go switch the laundry for breaks, oh, I'll go pop out and get the mail, or, you know, have lunch with my son, whatever it might be, we want to keep those confined as well.
So let's go back to that stuff on my desk thing. Now, because you're an organizational expert, give us some practical tips because I agree. I like to have things in one space, but I also like to kind of get rid of distractions. And one thing that I've done from a work standpoint, well, several things. The first thing I did is I put a sign right behind me here that says, until my number one priority is done, everything else is a distraction. And
Yes.
what I've done now too on my computer is I've closed all the windows.
Mhm.
We did that before we started, right? I closed all
That was fun. Yeah.
before, but I was doing that with other tasks. Like if I had to work on something specifically, I would close out all my windows and open just the windows that I needed.
Yep.
What other tips do you have spatially, like for organizing? Because, you know, the kids will come and drop stuff on here. You know, some bills come in, they get thrown on the desk, and I just start building up this pile of stuff here that I've got to go through.
I would say if you're accumulating stuff on the desk that really belongs someplace else or does have a place to be in your office, every time you get up, and you should be getting up, you know, a couple of times an hour to stretch or to move or to take a break. You know, if you were to do that twice an hour, that's 2 times at least throughout your workday every hour where you could put something where it goes or get those dishes back to the kitchen. So that's one approach, is just do a little bit all throughout the day and get things put away and where they belong. Another is, you know, at the minimum, at the end of the day, do what I call a clear to neutral and set yourself up for the next day. So that's taking a look at, all right, what did I get out today? What can I put away? What can I take, you know, into the kitchen or where it belongs, or return to the kids because it just got dropped here. So if you do that at the end of the day and you have a more clean slate to walk into the next morning, the second part of that is identifying what the highest priority is. So Dan, I love that thing that's behind your desk. And you know, until I get that highest priority done, everything else is a distraction. Well, you have to know what your priorities are, right? So if at the end of the one day, you can say, tomorrow, if I were to get this one thing done, and I mean, Keller Williams, the concept of the one thing, right? That's a great book if you haven't read it.
Yep.
But the one thing, if you can identify what is essential, what would be the biggest, you know, needle mover to make progress for a client, for your work, for your job, or for your role, and then that becomes the thing that you do first thing in the morning. But you have a clean place to come into. Things are organized from the beginning, and then you're able to focus.
Debbie, I've had some of my clients tell me that with the home office, they're working more hours. They feel like they're working around the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice for avoiding burnout?
Yeah, I kind of back to that compartmentalization. So it's certainly tempting, you know, especially for those of us that are entrepreneurs, that, you know, realtors, even if you have an umbrella that you fly your flag under, you're still entrepreneurial and you're running your own business. And so the work is always there, right?
Right.
You could work around the clock. And with a home office, it can be so tempting, even if you've spent some time with your family and now you're going to head on up to bed at the end of the night, to say, oh, well, why don't I just go in the office? I'll just get a few more things done.
Check email one more time.
Exactly. And if we don't take breaks from work, we will burn out. So I like the idea of trying to stick to some sort of a schedule. And just like everyone has a different level of tolerance for stuff around them, some people like to have their day more structured than others, but some structure serves all of us.
Yeah.
So again, if you...
I have a personal commitment to not check my email after 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Because sometimes bad news comes in that you can't do anything about till the next
That's right.
day. and then you're laying awake going, man, this really sucks. So
Right.
I just make it a point after 8 o'clock. It could be the whole world's falling apart, but I won't know until the next morning.
That's right. And most things really can wait until the next day. I know as a professional organizer and a productivity consultant, there are very rarely organizing emergencies, right? So, and if somebody really needs to get a hold of you because of a true emergency, they'll probably find a way. So anyway, compartmentalization. I'm going to go back to that as this is one way to avoid burnout. Take breaks throughout the day. Give yourself your evening, give yourself your weekends, unless you're, showing homes. And then I hope you take some, compensable time off. But we need to have time away from work, because when we can shift gears, focus on other things that are important to us and our health and wellness, we show up as better employees or better service providers, better realtors, whatever, fill in the blank. We show up as that better version of ourselves, more focused when we're back at work.
All right, we've got time for 2 more questions here. And one is, we've been talking about entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and people that are kind of independently working from home. But in this whole time, people are concerned about not only having a job, but keeping their job. So how can an employee provide to their employer their productivity?
Yeah, so it's different. I know a lot of people who work for someone else and work in an office, they're used to showing how hard they work. They might show up and be the first one there and the last one to leave. And, this is a time where we get to prove that statement that I've said again and again, that being busy does not equate to being productive. So just putting in the hours doesn't mean you're getting the work done. This is the perfect time to be clear on what results you deliver and focus on getting those results. So it doesn't matter, and I am a boss, and it doesn't matter to me whether my employees, get a result in an 8-hour day or a 4-hour day. So the results is what I care about, right? It's that satisfied client. It's developing new business. It's whatever the key drivers are for the business. So when you're working from home and nobody else can see you working, what they are going to see or hear about are the results that you're getting. So make sure to share those, be proud and share results, but focus yourself on results too. That's another way, Brian, back to your question about avoiding burnout.
Right.
We don't have to work around the clock to get the results. We just need to be clear on what we want and what activities are going to get us there, and then prioritize those activities.
One of the things that we do is a daily check-in, and the first question is share your win. What do you got? And it's encouraging, but it also is evidence of results.
Yeah, and I think it delineates the day, because I know after that check-in, I can step away, and I can say, okay, my day is done.
Yeah. When is enough?
Yeah. Ryan,
So
you got a last question?
Oops, go ahead, Dan.
No, you have a last question. Go ahead.
Yeah, what resources do you have for listeners wanting more on the topic, or maybe needing some help?
Yeah, there's so many people obviously working from home right now. So we put out, kind of dug in and created a Rock Your Work From Home guide. So it's a free resource. And if anybody is working from home and just wants to, take a look at that, it talks about some of the things we've talked about today. It has a productivity worksheet on there and kind of a day planner where you can plan out your day. So that can be found on our website, www.itssimplyplace.com. So ITSSIMPLYPLACED.com. And just go to the middle of the homepage or the bottom, there's a form, just name and address, and we will send you your free guide. We have a special going on right now until May 15th. That is a bundle of our Organize to Optimize mini course and our Productivity Taskmaster bundle. So that might be something to check out if somebody is kind of a do-it-yourselfer and wants some of the Simply Place strategies that we use with clients, but at a fraction of the cost. And then we're available. So we do consulting, we do virtual organizing appointments. We have a great membership program that, again, affordability, because it's a group program, helps people get and stay organized and make the most of their time throughout the year, and a lot of accountability and community with that as well.
All right. And what's that website again?
So our website is itssimplyplace.com. So www.itssimplyplaced.com. And maybe we can pop some of these things in a comment too, with some links to the free guide and to that product and to the group program.
Perfect. Debbie, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Debbie.
It's my pleasure.
All right. After this short commercial break, Brian and I are going to be talking some final thoughts. So come back after this very, very short commercial break.
Is your company planning a new office and you're wondering who can help you with the transition? Sean Tornquist with Seattle Modern Office helps local companies plan their new office, buy and install furniture, and even relocate existing furniture and equipment. Furniture planning and consultation is a free service at Seattle Modern Office. Sean will walk you through all the complicated steps of executing a major office transition and find you the best product solutions for office furniture to outfit the new space. He guarantees your vision for form and function at your new office can be achieved within your budget. To learn more, call Sean at Seattle Modern Office. Reach him by telephone at 425-761-9473 or online at www.seattlemo.com. Again, that is 425-761-9473 or seattlemo.com.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan. Let's get right to our final thoughts. Brian, what do you got for us?
You know, what I've got is how very impressed and thankful I am to be part of the Keller Williams organization. Yesterday, Dan and I and about 40,000 other brokers, literally 40,000 other brokers, in a live training event, largely about how we help our clients. This was brokers from around the world, mostly KW associates, but not all. I mean, Keller Williams is such an open company. We even invited many of our competitors to participate, but really focused on serving our clients through this time. And
what impressed me about that, Brian, is the conversation was very specific about connecting with the people that we know and not talking business, just
reaching out and caring for people, building relationships and loving our neighbors. You know, it's interesting because I follow the industry. I read the trade publications, I follow Inman, and most of our competitors are having massive layoffs, laying off staff, laying off brokers. KW is growing. I mean, we're out there seizing the day and looking to really help our clients through this, being there for people, finding out what their needs are. I hear stories of brokers out delivering food. I mean, really stepping up. I'm just really thankful to be part of this organization.
Yeah, the other thing that next Thursday is Red Day, and Keller Williams in Bellevue, we are actually going to be reaching out. Our team will be reaching out to everybody to ask for donations for Northwest Harvest. So be on the lookout for an email from us about what you can leave curbside pre-disinfected, we hope, so that we can help out those disadvantaged people here in our community that are really going to need the help over the next couple months. So great culture. Culture trumps
talent every time.
All day, every day.
That's right. Good. Yeah. So Dan, what's fun? What's happening?
Okay, so check this out. I don't know about you, Brian, but we've been exploring a lot of recipes. My wife made a killer homemade tomatillo salsa yesterday. It was fantastic. We got a big jar of it, and you can't have any of it. But one idea is take Instagram baking classes. So London Bakery is they're streaming baking classes, and master baker Dominique Ansel is showing you how his expertise via Instagram, So donuts to brownies, like I need another donut or brownie, but you can walk it off, right?
Yeah, I'm doing keto brownies.
Oh, look at this. I got to go check this out. They're live streaming Northern Lights. So
oh, sweet.
That'd be fun. Go check out what's going on with the Northern Lights. And of course you can listen to our podcast, but there are also a lot of cool podcasts you can discover. There's a lot of good fun things to do. We're discovering there's like other people in my house. I didn't know that. I could only text them.
That's funny. Well, that concludes our show for the week. I especially want to thank our guests, Debbie and Aram, taking the time to speak with us today. Thank you all for listening. And before I go, I want to share a quote. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy real estate. And that's kind of the same thing.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Stay well. Stay safe. Bye-bye.